What is up, YouTube? Will D's coming at you with this Salamangreat deck profile. So this is going to be a somewhat budget deck profile. I grabbed 3 structure decks, you know, sorted them out, and then grabbed the cards I needed. And then I added a few cards that aren't in the structure deck, but that they're not high priced. So again, this is going to be somewhat budget deck, and it's going to be focused around the fusion Salamangreat. So let's begin. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to all my subscribers. I want to say thank you. If you guys aren't subscribed, go ahead and hit that big subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Also, go ahead and check out my links down below for all my social media. And also, I'm actually an affiliate for Inked Gaming. So you can actually get a discount by using my coupon code right here. If you need playmats, dice, playmat holders, you name it, they got it. Go check it out, Inked Gaming. Use the coupon code. It really helps out the channel. Again, hit that subscribe and like button, and let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so for the main deck, the 3 ofs, you want to run, of course, 3 Gazelle. So Gazelle is like your Foolish Burial. So the card reads, whoa, blurry, sorry. If a Salamangreat monster is sent to your graveyard except Gazelle, you can special summon this card from the hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can send 1 Salamangreat card from your deck to the graveyard except Gazelle. You can only use the effect of each Salamangreat Gazelle once per turn. So it's really good. Helps you get your monsters to the graveyard so you can recur them back. And then of course 3 Spinny. So Salamangreat Spinny. His effect reads: if you control a Salamangreat card, you can discard this card, then target 1 face-up monster on the field. It gains 500 until the end of the turn. If you control a Salamangreat monster other than Salamangreat Spinny, and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. So it's a really good card to because of its special summon effect, and it helps boost your monsters. So, and then of course Salamangreat Fox. Man, sorry about the focus. There we go. Salamangreat Foxy. So it's read when this card is normal summoned, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, add 1 excavated card from the add 1 excavated Salamangreat card to your hand. Also shuffle the rest into the deck. So that's pretty good for pulling cards that you might need. Also, if this card is in your graveyard and a face-up spell or trap is on the field, so either side, you can discard 1 Salamangreat card, special summon this card, and then destroy that spell or trap card on the field. So it could be yours or theirs, either one. So that's really good to help clear the back row of your opponent. And you can only use the Foxy's effect once per turn, and only once that turn. So, and then of course you want to run 3 Ash Blossom, obviously. So they're all going to be fire 3 monsters. Now for the 2 ofs, you want to use 2 Jaguar. And again, this is just my version of the deck. A lot of people run different. I know some people are running the really expensive version where they're using Phantasme and impermanence, but you know, this is budget. So Jaguar helps you for more recursion. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. If you control a Salamangreat Link monster while this card is in the graveyard, you can target 1 Salamangreat monster in your graveyard except Jaguar. Shuffle that target into the deck, and if you do, special summon this card to the zone the Link monster points to. You can only use this effect of Jaguar once per turn. So that's 2 of for that. The next is Falco. So I run 2 Falco. go. Focus. There we go. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Salamangreat card, spell, or trap in the graveyard. Set that target to the field. So it's really good for pulling back your spells or traps. This card is in your graveyard. You can target one monster you control, except Falco. Return that monster to the hand, and if you do, special summon this card. So most of these cards, as you can tell, recur themselves back to the field, so that's really good. And then 2 Foul. So this is really good also. If a Salamangreat monster except Foul is normal or special summoned, you can special summon this card from your hand. So that's really good because most of these are going to be special summoned anyway, so boom, another special summon right to the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. If you can send one Salamangreat card from your hand or face up field to the graveyard, target one set spell or trap your opponent controls. That set card cannot be activated this turn. So this really helps, you know, protect you if they have a card that they're going to activate. They won't be able to activate it that turn. Alright, then my one-ofs, I do 1 mole. So this just helps you get some of your cards back to the deck. So during your main phase, if you link summon this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand to the zone a link monster points to, so that's really good. If you control no monsters, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target 5 Salamangreat cards in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, so that really helps, and then draw 2 cards. So that's really cool. But I only run 1 of because that's really the only effect you kind of need it for. Plus it's a rank 1, so. And then I run Salamangreat Foxer, just 1 of. It says, and this is really fun, small print there. If you have 3 or more Salamangreat monsters in your graveyard, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target a link monster in the graveyard and 1 card in your opponent's spell or trap zone. Return that targeted monster from the graveyard to the extra deck, and if you do, destroy the targeted card. If a card in your opponent's spell or trap zone is destroyed and sent to the graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card to the in defense position. You can only use Foxer's effect once per turn, and only 1 that turn. Okay. So that's really good for helping you clear the back row of your opponent. And then my last monster. It's an interesting. I don't know if a lot of people are running this. I am. It's just for the special summon effect, and it's a level 3. So if you control a Cyberus monster, and these are all Cyberus besides Ash Blossom. But if you control a Cyberus monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon 1 that turn, and it's really just for the Xyz monster. But you know, as many 3s as you can get on the field to get the Xyz monster. But I'll show you that when I show you the extra deck. But that's it for the monsters. Now let me get to the spells. Okay, so for the spells. Since this is going to be the fusion-centric deck, and I actually don't have this card at the moment, I've got them on order, so they will be here shortly, so I'm going to use a proxy, but you'll run 3 Fusion of Fire, and it's going to, this is what it looks like right here. But basically that card reads, Fusion of Fire, this card is always treated as a Salamangreat card, so you use one of your monster's effects to pull that card either to your hand or from the deck. And it reads, Fusion summon 1 Salamangreat fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand and or either field as fusion material. You can only activate 1 Fusion of Fire per turn. So if you're going up against a player that is also playing Salamangreats, you can also use monsters on their side of the field as fusion material. Which is definitely helpful, so it clears out their board, and then you build yours stronger. So, definitely helpful. 3 of those. Alright. Then you want to run 3 Salamangreat Circle. This is really good. It helps you pull monsters from your deck. So, basically, activate one of these effects, add a Salamangreat monster from your deck to your hand. Boom, easy. Or target one Salamangreat link monster you control that was link summoned using a monster with its same name as material. And I'll show you guys, talk about that later here, but that monster is unaffected by monster effects this turn except its own. And you can only activate one of these per turn. That's a hard effect, so yeah. But that's really good, so you want to run 3 of that one. And then for more special summoning, you want to run 3 Will of the Salamangreat. It's a continuous spell card, which reads, during your main phase, you can special summon one Salamangreat monster from your hand or deck. From hand or deck, you can send this card face up from the field to the graveyard, then target one Salamangreat link monster you control that was link summoned using a monster with the same name as material. Special summon Salamangreat monsters from your hand or graveyard in defense position up to the number of that monster's link rating. You can only use one Salamangreat effect per turn and only once that turn. So really good to help you see as many monsters as you can, you know. That's the name of the game. And then I run 2 of Salamangreat Sanctuary. It's the field spell. And this is what I was telling you about earlier. So if you link summon a link monster, you can use one link monster you control with its same name as the entire material. So, you know, say you're going to summon a Baylynx, you can use Baylynx to, you know, summon another Baylynx right on top of it, you know, or to get its effect, so. Also, it says during damage calculation, if your monster battles, you can pay 1,000 life points and target one link monster you control, make its attack 0, and if you do, gain life points equal to its original attack. You can only use each effect of Salamangreat Sanctuary once per turn. So really good, but I only run 2 of for this field spell. And then my last spell I do is Twin Twisters, just to help for more back row removal. So that's it for the spells. Let's move on to the traps. Alright, so for the traps, I run 3 Salamangreat Roar. So this one's really good. Salamangreat counter trap card. When a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated while you control a Salamangreat link monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So really good for negating and destroying cards from your opponent. And then while this card is in the graveyard, if a Salamangreat link monster is link summoned to the field using a monster with its same name as material, you can set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. So it recurs the card and helps you use it again. So that's really cool effect. You want to run 3 of those. Then 2 Salamangreat Rage. So Salamangreat's effect is it's just a normal trap. It says activate this effect, one of these effects. Send one Salamangreat monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard and target one card of the field, destroy it. So it's pretty simple. And then target one Salamangreat link monster you control that was link summoned using this card as the same name as material. Destroy cards your opponent controls up to that link monster's rating. So that's really good and helpful to help clear out your opponent's board. And you can only use 1 rage per turn. So 2 of those. And then my last 2 cards, my last 2 traps is going to be 2 Goes in Match. So it's definitely helpful since I believe almost all of the cards besides Secretary is fire. So it's definitely helpful. Each player can only control 1 attribute of monsters, send all other face-up monsters they control to the graveyard. So that's really cool and helpful to prevent your opponent from summoning other monsters. And then now let's get over to the extra deck. Alright, now for the extra deck, again this is centered around the fusion monster. So I run 2 Salamangreat Violet Chimera, and its material is 1 Salamangreat monster plus 1 link monster. And its effect is, if this card is fusion summoned, you can make this card gain attack equal to half the combined original attack of the materials used to summon it. until the end of this turn. Once per battle, during damage calculation, if this monster battles a monster whose current attack is different from its original attack, quick effect, I can double this card's attack during damage calculation only. So that's really good. You can get it pretty high, I think. So if this card was fusion summoned using it as material, and it battles a monster, that monster's attack becomes 0. So that's a really good effect. But I run 2 of those. And then I run 3 Salamangreat Mirage Stalio, which is the rank 3 Xyz monster. It only takes 2 level 3 monsters. So I mean, all of these, everything I run besides I believe Fowl and Falco are going to be level 3, or Jaguar is level 4 too. But its effect says you can detach 1 material from this card, special summon 1 Salamangreat monster from your deck in defense position. Also, you cannot activate monster effects for the rest of this turn except fire monsters. So that's a really good, more pulling from the deck. That's really good. If this card is Xyz summoned, if this Xyz summoned card is sent to the graveyard as material for a link summon of a Salamangreat monster, target 1 monster on the field and return it to the hand. You can only use each effect of Salamangreat Mirage Stalio once per turn. So it's really good. You want to run 3 of. Now for the link monsters, I run 1 Sunlight Wolf. And I only run because that's really all I have right now. I think this card is around $10. It might be a little bit more now, or less, I don't know, depending on when you're watching this video. But, again, I only have 1, because that's really all I've pulled, and I haven't bought any others. It takes 2 fire effect monsters. If it's a Link 2, 1800 attack, with an up and a down arrow. So if a monster is normal or special summoned to a zone this card points to, you can add 1 fire monster from your graveyard to your hand, but for the rest of this turn you cannot normal summon or special summon monsters with the added monster's name. During your main phase, if you control this card that was link summoned using this card as material, you can add 1 spell or trap from your graveyard to your hand. You can use each effect of Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf once per turn. So that's really good to help you pull your spells from your graveyard back to your hand. I use 3 Baylinks. It's a level 1 500 attack, which just requires 1 level 4 or lower Cyberse monster. And it says, if this card is link summoned, you can add 1 Salamangreat Sanctuary from your deck to your hand. So it's the field spell to your hand. So that's really helpful. Focus, here we go. And if a Salamangreat card you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So that's really helpful to help protect your monsters. So you definitely want to run 3 of and get these guys in the graveyard to help protect your deck. And then I run 3 Salamangreat Heat Leo. Now he is a Link 3 2300 attack, with 3 arrows. And he requires 2 or more fire effect monsters to link summon, or you can use himself and any of these links while you have the field spell up as material. So, if this card is linked summon, you can target 1 card in your opponent's spell or trap zone, shuffle it into the deck. That's really good. Once per turn during your main phase, if this card was linked summoned using Heat Leo as material, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field and 1 monster in your graveyard. The attack of the first target becomes equal to the other's attack until the end of the turn. So that's really good if you say summon something that has a really low, and then you give that opponent that attack. So definitely helpful. And then the rest 1-ofs, I run 1 Flame Administrator. So it's a Link 2 with 2 arrows, 1200 attack. 2 Cyberus monsters. All linked monsters on your field gain 800 attack, and then you can only control 1 Flame Administrator. So it's just a simple link monster and boost the attack. Then I do Recovery Sorcerer. It's a link 2 1500 with 2 arrows, and it just takes 2 Cyberus monsters. Quick effect, I can target 1 Cyberus link monster in my graveyard that was destroyed this turn, special summon it, but it has effects negated. Also destroy it during the end phase. So I just use it to recur my link monsters if I need to with its effect. So really good. And then my last extra deck monster I do is Update Jammer. It's a link 2 2000 attack, requires 2 level 2 or higher Cyberus monsters, so all these monsters would work, besides Ash Blossom, of course. And then it's got 2 arrows here, and its effect reads, once per battle, during damage calculation, if your Cyberus monster's battles quick effect, you can activate this effect. Negate all other card effects on the field until the end of the damage step. So that's really good. Damage calculation for this battle uses each monster's original attack, so if they've been buffed up, they go back to their original attack or defense. Also, if this opponent's monster is destroyed... Also, if your opponent's monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. So, you know, win-win for you. If this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, that link monster can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. So that's really cool. If you link this off, you know, and you can let your monster get a double attack. So, that's pretty much it for my deck profile. I really do appreciate you guys checking out this Salamangreat deck profile. And again, I want to let everyone know I appreciate them for watching. Subscribe, hit that like notification, or hit the like button and hit the bell for future videos. Also, check the links down in the description and use the discount code WILL10 for all your gaming needs from Inked Gaming. And I will check you guys later. Will D's out.